Welcome back to another episode of Hot Flash, your hot air minisode, the show where we speak the truth even when it's inconvenient, unfiltered, but also wrapped in a little bit of glitter with a cute little bow. Now, today I want to talk about a symbol, and not just any symbol. We are talking the rainbow flag. Yes, you know, the very gay one. The one that lives on your favorite t-shirt, or the one waving at a pride parade that one everyone at Target used to look at and know that it was June, and then the one that also mysteriously disappears in July. The rainbow flag is one of the most recognizable symbols in the world. It's bright, it's bold, it's beautiful, it represents inclusion, diversity, freedom, and let's be real, it makes a lot of people very uncomfortable. And I ask the question, why? And I'm not asking the question to anybody. I'm asking the question to myself, and I'm going to answer that question myself. So, why are so many people, especially the ones who quite literally fly hate flags, so offended by something that represents love? So, today we're going to dive into the history of the rainbow flag, how it came to be, and what it really says about the people that are trying to silence it. So, let's hit it. Part 1. The birth of a symbol. Let's rewind the clock to 1978, San Francisco. The gay rights movement was gathering steam after the Stonewall riots of 1969, but the community needed a symbol. Something that was ours. Something that said, we are here, we belong, and we're not going anywhere. Something recognizable. That's when a gay artist and drag queen named Gilbert Baker stepped in. Gilbert wasn't just any artist. He was a U.S. Army veteran who taught himself to sew. And when Harvey Milk, if you don't know who that is, you can go listen to my Harvey Milk episode. He was the first openly gay elected official in California, asked him to create a flag for the gay community. And Gilbert got to work. Now, flags have power. Think about it. Countries have them. Every country has them. Armies have them. Revolutions have them. Gilbert believed we deserved one too, and not just a protest sign, not just a slogan, a flag, something that we can raise and something to rally around. He and a team of volunteers hand-dyed and hand-stitched the very first rainbow flags in the Gay Community Center at the top of San Francisco's Market Street. The original had 8 colors, each representing something essential to queer life. And those 8 colors were hot pink, which represented sex, red, which represented life, orange, which represented healing, yellow represented sunlight, green represented nature, turquoise represented magic and art, indigo represented serenity, and violet represented spirit. It wasn't just a cute little flag, it was intentional. But when the flag started gaining popularity, hot pink fabric was too hard to come by, so it got dropped. Later, turquoise and indigo were combined into royal blue, and voila, we ended up with the 6-striped flag most people know today. Do you remember learning in school Roy G. Biv, so you could remember red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet? Perhaps that was a Canada thing. I think it was a worldwide thing. Anyway, Roy G. Biv is the colors now. Part 2. From protest to global icon. The flag was first flown on June 25th, 1978, at the San Francisco Gay Freedom Day Parade, and it was electric. It wasn't long before the rainbow flag became the symbol of the LGBTQ+ community across the United States and then across the world. But just months after its debut, tragedy struck. Harvey Milk was assassinated along with Mayor George Moscone, and the community was devastated, and the flag took on an even deeper meaning. A banner not just of pride, but of resistance, of remembrance, and of course, of hope. So since then, the pride flag, it's really hard to say. So since then, the pride flag has been everywhere. From parades to protests, from the White House to war zones, it's flown in countries where being queer is still punishable by death. It's waved by activists in places where coming out is still a risk for your life. This is my favorite new saying among many. Let that sink in. What started as strips of hand-dyed fabric in a community center in San Fran became a global protest symbol. Part 3, the hypocrisy of offense. So here's some of the stuff that I don't really get. How can something created to represent love, diversity, freedom, and peace cause so much outrage? They be mad out here. It is wild. Why does a rainbow offend you? If you've been on social media lately, which let's face it, who hasn't, or walk past the wrong group at a school board meeting or like city hall, or the new administration likes to say a few of the following things like, don't push your agenda. The pride flag is political. What about the children? As though we're offending them with this bright, beautiful flag that celebrates inclusivity. But those same people, they have Confederate flags on their bumper stickers. They're out here waving thin blue line flags like they're not symbols used to silence protest. They'll fly "Don't Tread on Me" flags while trying to erase the rights of queer and trans people. A wee bit contradictory, don't you think? And let's be clear, the people most offended by the pride flag are often the same people flying flags that are rooted in exclusion, oppression, racism, and violence. Let me ask you this. You're offended by the rainbow, but not the flag that represents slavery, not the flags that stood behind Nazi rallies, not the ones used by domestic terrorists. Please come the fuck on. What offends you is visibility. What offends you is the fact that we are not hiding anymore, that we're proud and loud, and that you can't ignore us. What offends you is seeing something different than what you are and seeing it being celebrated. And people get pissed off because we're like, you shouldn't fly that Confederate flag or the flag that has a swastika on it. Those things are rooted in history that involves hatred and the discrimination of different groups of people. The rainbow flag is about love, and clearly, these people don't love love. Part 4, the flag that grows with us. One of the most beautiful things about the pride flag is it's not static. It's alive and it is ever evolving. You've seen all these iterations and variations and additions to it. I think it's super cool. I think, why the fuck not? We may as well add more letters to the alphabet. So, over the years, you've seen these new versions of the flag. They've emerged to reflect a broader, more inclusive queer community. And honestly, some people within the community itself are offended by this and they're like, oh my God, another color or another, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. I can't think today. But in 2017, the city of Philadelphia added black and brown stripes to highlight queer people of color. In 2018, the Progress Pride flag was created, which added the colors of the trans flag and a chevron shape to honor forward movement and marginalized communities. There are versions for asexual pride, non-binary pride, intersex inclusion, and so much more, and I am so fucking here for it all. Some people complain that the flag keeps changing, but that is the point. We're not just one color, we're not just one story, we are not just one experience. The flag grows because we grow. And I dig it. Part 5, the real threat. Let's face it, the rainbow flag threatens people not because it's aggressive, but because it interrupts the norm. It challenges the idea that only some identities deserve representation. Like a swastika says, you don't belong here. A Confederate flag says, go back to the past. But a rainbow that is ever evolving, says there is room for you too. And if there isn't room, we'll make it. And for some people, that's fucking terrifying. Because power that is built on exclusion does not know how to share space with love. Because if queer people are free to love, who else gets to be free next? Dun, dun, dun. The beginning of The Purge, or a fucking horror movie. I live for horror, but not that kind. So, yes, some people are offended by the pride flag, but that's not our problem. That is their reflection, their discomfort, and their projection, clearly. The rainbow was never meant to comfort the oppressor. Fucking love that. The rainbow was not meant to comfort the oppressor. We didn't make the flag to make you all comfortable. We made it so that we could feel like we had a space of our own. It was made for us. for the ones who've been pushed to the margins, for the ones who have had to fight for visibility, for rights, for life. So the next time someone tries to tell you that your pride flag is too political, too loud, or too offensive, you can tell them this. If my rainbow scares you, maybe it's because your worldview only works in black and white. And listen, one other thing that I want to say that I attempted to say on a previous episode, I saw this commercial on Instagram, and it was about a gay man on a train who was sat across from a guy in a black hoodie who was bald, who looked very Nazi-like, for lack of a better term. And I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, but I said it and I'm going to leave it in there. Uh, but the guy who was, outwardly gay and flamboyant got uncomfortable. It got scary for him. He felt not safe. And a lot of us, myself included, can relate to that. And then he saw the guy lift up his phone, talk on his phone, and like his sleeve rolled down a little bit, and a rainbow bracelet showed. And not only is the rainbow and the rainbow flag a symbol of like defiance and standing out, it's also a signal to those that are like us to let us know that we're safe, that we are here for each other. And that's why I bought new bands for my Apple Watch that are rainbow. And I never did before because I was like, oh, this is going to put a target on my back. And maybe in certain circumstances it will, but it will also show the people that are like you that you are there and you're not invisible. And with all that being said, I am now opening my inbox / if you go onto my website, hotairwithjoshuarobert.com, you can now submit your coming out stories about maybe some discrimination you've experienced, but also positive things. Maybe helpful, positive conversations you've had with family and friends to help them see what it is like to be a part of the queer community. Kind of anything that you can think of. Struggles that you feel people can relate to. I'm going to start doing these hot flash episodes moving into the summer that are going to be listener stories, maybe a few little short guest episodes, but feel free to write in, share your story with me. Again, go to the website, hotairwithjoshuarobert.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at _hotairpod. Thanks again for listening to this hot flash mini-sode of Hot Air. And that's it for today's episode. So share it, scream it, stitch it to your backpack if you have to. And until next time, stay bold, stay beautiful, and for the love of all things gay, wave that damn rainbow flag. And I will see you next Tuesday.